Welcome back to Extra Shot, the weekly pod spilling the most scandalous stories in sport. I'm Jack Rivlin. Zach Sweeney-Lynch is here, as always.
Hello, Jack.
Part of the furniture.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, no, sorry, I meant that in an endearing way. And we are joined by a guest today. We don't normally have a guest on Extra Shot, but JP Lockwood is in the house.
All right, my favourite lemon squeezers. How are you?
Hello, this is a bit of a surprise, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. Sort of more casual format for you.
A bit more casual, so this is my first one though, so I'm a bit nervous, so be gentle with me, gents.
Go easy.
Have you been keeping an eye on this week's stories?
I have. I'm up to date.
Yeah, there's some quite exotic shit. Actually, on the pod today, we are talking another decorated football international plunged into a cocaine smuggling scandal. Luke Littler is deluged by thirsty Insta hotties, and Donald Trump is drooling over Coleen Rooney. More on all of that later. JP, I did just want to get you on for an extra shot, but also I did also just want to ask you about the growing horniness of your fans. So the JP fans, or the JP-dophiles, as I call them, I'd say they're the most enthusiastic of all our guests' fans.
Got a cult following.
Yeah, I really noticed it, that your name comes up a lot. But we posted a clip on Insta last week of, I think it was the Maradona episode we did recently. And there was a comment, which I'm going to read out from Kian, which said, "First time seeing JP, did not think he'd actually be as hot as his voice." And then there's, I never know what this emoji means. It's like smiling face with a drip.
Smiling face, crying.
A drip of something on its face.
Yeah, it's more sweat rather than a tear, I think. It's not coming from the eye.
Okay, as long as it's not anything else. And JP, you replied, "Jack's been trying to hide me, but the shackles are officially off."
It's safe to say I am fully engaged on the content now. I haven't had this much action in about 10 years.
But yeah, so you're getting fucking fans thirsting over you.
Yeah, I mean, life has changed for me in the last 2 weeks.
I'm a gay icon.
Yeah, I'm in, and I'm loving it.
Zach and I, we've done about 200 clips on Insta, and I've not once been offered a blowjob. And suddenly you're fucking swanning in.
I do check the DMs every day, waiting for
that
the
one
nudes
day
to start dropping in. But
and literally your first video, and you're getting fucking Kian.
I know.
I'm going to kick us off with a big old scandal. We've spoken many times on this podcast about Quincy Promes, the coke smuggling former Ajax winger who naffed off to Dubai. But Quincy's status as European football's premier drug smuggler is under threat because there is a new kid on the block. And I am, of course, referring to Radja Nainggolan, the former Roma and Inter Milan midfielder. Reasonably big name. He played 30 odd times for Belgium. He won Serie A as well. Anyway, this week he was arrested in his native Belgium over his role in an alleged drug smuggling ring. It's actually been a bit of a whirlwind week for him because he's been retired for 2 years. And then on the weekend, he came out of retirement and joined the second tier Belgian side, scored directly from a corner. It's, pretty big deal for any footballer.
Do you think he knew that there was an investigation into him and he was like, okay, look, I'll just take the heat off.
I was just thinking
go back into my old career,
Score from a corner.
Once I'm in a police interview, then
sort of covers over it a bit, I'm playing football again, this can't be right.
Yes, but he's had the last 2 years of doing nothing. Anyway, we'll see. But he had this debut on Saturday, and then on Monday he was arrested in a raid. So the Dutch and Belgian police raided 30 houses in Antwerp, Brussels, I think some places in the Netherlands as well. They towed poor Radja's car. They also arrested 15 others over charges of importing coke from South America to Antwerp port, which is the same port that Quincy Promes was smuggling through. It's a big old port.
Is this port just milling with
I think so.
Washed up footballers just milling?
It's Europe's
cracking open shipping containers.
You've got like Mark Overmars and Nigel de Jong shotting weed out the back.
Surely if it's a hot port, just choose another port to get the coke
I
in.
think it's Europe's second biggest port, so it's just like you want a big port.
Yeah, true.
If you're smuggling.
How do you know?
Just a theory. The police seized 370,000 euros in cash, several luxury watches, including 2 watches worth 360 grand each. which sounds like a footballer watch to me.
Yeah.
Jewelry, 100 gold coins. Luxury items, unspecified. 2 bulletproof vests, several weapons, including 3 firearms, 14 vehicles, and 2.7 kilos of cocaine.
Nice.
Last but not least. I should say that's from all the properties. I don't know if any of that was on Radja's property. I reckon the 360 grand watch sounds like him.
It does sound like a
So
football
actually,
scale.
so I should say, so his lawyers obviously deny Radja was involved at all, but the specific accusation against him, according to his lawyers, is of laundering the cash.
I wonder what like the mechanics is of that. So they're giving him the cash to then put through one of his businesses.
Well, I thought that, but then the lawyers, so Radja got out, he was questioned, he hasn't been charged, and then he was released after questioning. And then the lawyers said he wasn't asked any questions about drug trafficking, but it was only about amounts of money that he'd given to acquaintances.
Right.
That actually, it kind of does make a bit of sense, really. And that we'll kind of explain why footballers who have a lot of money get involved in these schemes, because, you know, if you've got mates who are cocaine traffickers and they just you need to spend this cash on like a 360 grand watch, for example, if a random person does that who seems a bit dodgy anyway, then maybe that would rouse suspicions. But footballers can probably
Get away with
doing that.
And it's really common in football for people to just give lump sums to their friends and family, right? And like to
True.
loads of people, just to like look after people you grew up with, which could look like you're investing in a drug smuggling ring.
Yeah.
But it could also just be like looking after people who happen to be involved in crime and you're not aware. So that's the case for the defence, I think. Remains to be seen. The Dutch press who broke the story, they were saying that he has, over the last year or two, been hanging out on the Antwerp nightlife scene with some like quite shady figures from the drug world.
Is there a big Antwerp?
Yeah, that's what I was
nightlife
wondering.
scene?
Antwerp's sort of like diamonds, isn't it? Or maybe that was in
Yeah.
like Tudor times.
What year are you talking?
Yeah, but it was like one of the richest cities in the world, I think, because it was like a big port. But again, yeah,
Maybe it's still a bit flash.
yeah, I reckon it's. I mean, everyone's got a nightlife scene, even Antwerp.
True.
Drug traffickers got a party too.
Was he just doing like five-a-side football with Quincy Promise?
Yeah.
And they just went,
The five-a-side
they just went for a
thing.
beer after the game.
Five-a-side
So-
port team.
Probably a pretty good one.
Yeah.
But yes, I don't know if that really means much. Also on his CV, which is slightly alarming, is that he runs this private jet startup with a bloke who was convicted of smuggling 1,100 kilos through Antwerp airport for Hezbollah.
Jesus.
Didn't know Hezbollah did that, but I guess.
It feels very cokey.
Yeah, I guess.
This is Hezbollah, not the small MMA guy.
The UFC.
Hezbollah.
The 3-foot UFC
I mean,
influence.
I don't know which is funnier, doing it for Hezbollah or Hezbollah.
Hezbollah would be
both
funnier. But I didn't realise Hezbollah do that. But I guess those sorts of organisations, it's like how the
Finger
IRA
lots of
robbed
pies.
banks, didn't they? You need
Yeah.
cash. Anyway, so his partner did a 6 stretch in America, which seems quite short for smuggling that much coke in America.
Maybe he had a good lawyer.
But it was through Antwerp Airport, so quite funny that he's now in private jets. I guess it's like same skills, isn't it? He's a logistics guy.
Yeah. Was it on a private jet that these?
It was on planes. I don't know if
yeah.
they were private jets, but I guess he knows air travel pretty well. But yeah, it doesn't look great for Radja that he's running a business with an ex-coke trafficker. And he does have a bit of a cokey look.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Without getting into contempt of court territory.
You don't want to profile, but he does have. He's sort of like shaved head, neck tattoos.
Bit of a slit
He
there.
does, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of tats.
I mean,
It's hard to explain.
It's unfair to.
It's hard to explain
Yeah,
what a cokey look is, but you know it when you see it. You know what I mean? I've met that guy. Also, so his career kind of came to an end. He was playing for Royal Antwerp a couple of years ago, and they sacked him after he vaped on the bench. Looking at a picture of it there. What I like about the picture is he's turning away from the pitch, like that will enable him
it's
to
sort
get
of like
away.
when you do it in a pub and you don't want to get caught and you do it under your t-shirt.
That's rising up.
50 Cent hat on as
Yeah.
well. Jesus.
Oh, is that 50 Cent? He got dropped after that, and then they sacked him a few months later. So quite a weird way to end your career. Apparently, when he was at Roma, at half time, he used to go for a cig with the assistant manager. He'd just
Really?
walk out the dressing room.
I mean, I feel like in Italian football, smoking is just not even like properly frowned upon yet, is it?
Yeah,
You know?
I think like who was it who was saying to us that they'd like go to the toilets, and Andrea Pirlo.
Yeah, it
and-
was Nicholas Bentner said that when he joined Juventus, he was like walking down the corridors from the changing room. It's like, I stinks of cigs here, and went into the toilet cubicle, and it was like Pirlo, Who else was there? I actually can't remember. Buffon was definitely there, and a few others, all just like huddled in this toilet cubicle.
Marlboro Red and like an espresso in the other. Those tiny
bit
cups.
of nicotine, a bit of caffeine.
The way they drink coffee is weird in Italy, isn't it? You like go to like a newsagent and just like
have a tiny little one. Right?
Like do you remember we did that in Rome? It's like,
wedding,
quite like
it's
it.
a strange way to drink coffee, but
who was the Chelsea? His name's just. No, the Chelsea boss who used to like chew fag butts.
Sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
Like they let him smoke in Italy, but obviously you can't do that in the Premier League. And he'd have like half a Marlboro Light that was like smoked, but he wouldn't light it on the touchline. He would just toke it dry,
so horrible,
just to give him like some sort of.
Was it just the filter?
Just the filter. He'd be chewing it,
but it had nicotine in it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
just
you
eating the fag?
You could just get like
there's like fiberglass in that shit.
Just eating a pack of Marlboro Reds on the touchline.
But why wouldn't you just get like gum or like a snooze or some shit?
Not his vibe, is it?
Yeah, he's mental. He was a banker until he was 30, wasn't he?
He still smokes like 40 a day.
Yeah.
He just refuses to stop.
It is quite nice, something romantic about having that in the game.
Yeah.
Obviously filthy.
Not healthy.
Not healthy. Nor was it for Radja. And they questioned Radja Nainggolan about it, and he was like saying, like, I'm a really normal guy. He said, I shop at the supermarket. I can drink and smoke a cigarette with serenity.
Oof.
Quite nice.
Yeah.
Anyone else starting to really like this guy?
Yeah. I read an article with him. He said that he'd go out and do 20 shots before a game and still play better than anyone else on the pitch. Yeah.
Yeah, and his teammates were like, he would smoke at half time, but he was class.
Yeah. He's Ancelotti's like golden boy.
Really?
Yeah.
What is he, like an enforcer?
He plays like a CDM. But it's just like they call him the pitbull or some sort of dog related
He's got that
name.
look as well.
He has got a pitbull look, but he's like goes and gets the ball off players, like that kind of like aggressive.
Yeah.
I remember he nearly signed for Chelsea when
really?
Conte was in charge. Yeah, he loves him.
So that was his peak.
Yes.
And then it just went off a cliff.
Yeah.
Possibly because he had other business interests to attend.
Smoking 40 a day.
Smuggling tons of
cocaine business.
But I'm excited for this because he's probably a bigger name than Quincy Promise.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Quincy's story is funnier because he just keeps fucking up and nearly getting extradited. But Radja,
he was a big name. I got him mixed up. We were talking about the story before. I thought he was the guy who kung fu kicked Xabi Alonso in the World Cup.
That's Nigel de Jong.
That's sort of similar players, I think.
But he's still young though, right? He's 32.
Radja?
Yeah, 33.
No idea.
I think like
yeah, he looks about that.
Just a shame that he's gone off the boil and getting done for coke, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's not getting done.
Alleged, hasn't been charged yet.
True.
Remains to be seen.
True.
He would make a good addition to Prison FC.
Yeah,
who are putting out pretty good 11 these days.
You should try and put like an upshot Prison FC first 11.
It'd be quite a good episode, probably. Actually,
yeah. Get me
quite dark stories.
Yeah, we'll stick to the funnier ones. Anyway, we will keep you posted on Radja's defence. Might wear a free Radja t-shirt in the next pod.
We'll get his shirt actually.
Yeah, next to Quincy.
I promise one.
Yeah, the shirt has to be convicted or could be convicted drug.
Yeah,
felons.
accused.
Accused.
Anyway, last week was a big day in the calendar for us grubby hacks here at Upshot Towers. Luke Littler came of age. It was his 18th birthday.
We were counting down the days.
We had our calendar up on the wall. It was a bit like, there was that rumour that the tabloids had a countdown to Charlotte Church's 16th birthday in the 2000s.
Which wasn't true.
It actually turned out not to be true.
Well, the website
it was a little bit like that here.
There was a real website that they were counting down until she was legal. And then the tabloids obviously took that as like...
But they covered it and then everyone said the Sun have the calendar, which is... even the Sun wouldn't do that.
Oof. I don't know.
They hate nonsense.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it was a bit like that for us. With
Littler, we were counting down.
Yeah. And it turns out we weren't the only ones getting hot under the collar at newly legal Luke. So Luke revealed in an interview last week that since winning the World Championship, he has been deluged with DMs from girls on Insta.
I bet he has, a bit like me.
Actually, the two of you.
Comments from Kian.
We're sharing the same path, me and Luke. I might reach out to him, see if he wants some support.
How are you coping with it? It's overwhelming.
You're going to be you and Luke are sort of the Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips. of podcasting.
First to 1,000.
So he was, he did this interview. He was talking about that. He said, extra attention comes with me winning the world title, and certain reporting restrictions are lifted at the age of 18. You're telling us. So that will have an impact. And if I keep winning, I'm not making it easier for myself, am I? I've had a few requests from girls to meet up, but generally I don't reply. It's just people looking at me and the money I'm making, and they want part of that.
It's very level-headed.
Yeah, I don't know how is he this grounded.
But he is.
I really hope he stays grounded and it all works out.
One word I did note in the quote was generally. I generally don't reply.
Okay,
Well,
so
I mean,
what do you think?
If Beckham's DMing you, you're going to fucking reply.
No, but he's talking about girls here, isn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe it's more of a... Well, if I DM him, I'm sure he's going to... I'll do it after this and I'll let you know.
You the hot one from the upshot. I know that voice. I reckon that's starting to make me think maybe he is replying to the odd one.
Yeah, maybe.
I can
don't
kind
know,
of see, at 18, I was quite sort of
Promiscuous.
nervous around girls. The opposite.
Has he
Still
got
am.
past a bit of like, girls have cooties? That shit at COD, so
Yeah,
why would I want to talk to them?
Yeah, he could be one of those 18-year-olds who's like, I'm just about at the pub with the lads, or in his case, FIFA with
Well, he's not going to the
Yeah.
pub, is he? He's
With
playing...
angry ginge.
FIFA with angry ginge. But I now I've heard the word generally in that quote, I do wonder, maybe he is replying.
Yeah.
Surely, like, you've got to just enjoy it.
Yeah, if they're like super
Just
hot
enjoy it, man.
and they love darts.
Do you reckon, yeah, so what type of, who is a darts groupie? Are you a darts fan?
I reckon more of like a
Fame fan.
fame fan, love getting on the sesh.
Yeah. We
Sounds
talked
great.
about on our darts episode back in the 80s, they had like groupies, like groups of married American women who were following them on their tour around the US and like trying to shag as many darts players as they could.
Do we think Littler's getting that sort of interest?
Probably not far off. I mean, he's one of the most like famous young sportsmen in the UK.
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
Isn't he,
Did he win Sports Personality of the
Yeah,
Year?
he did. Yeah. Luke
Which
the
is-
Nuke.
Yeah, I'm interested to know like what type of woman
DMs
becomes
he's
a
getting.
becomes a darts groupie.
Oh right.
Yeah.
As I said, I reckon hot and likes a bit of a sesh.
Yeah,
Sort of goes hand in hand.
surely
with the
he'll
culture.
get involved.
Yeah.
Actually, if the hotties of Instagram do want to bag themselves a wonder kid, then they might have better luck turning their attentions to the Aussie cricket prodigy Sam Constas. So he made his debut for Australia against India in their recent series and did really well. He scored a half century, I think, on his debut and was sort of the breakout star. And when they sealed the series, the Aussie players had like a big party at their hotel, stayed up the whole night, and Sam was spotted the following morning, like leading this girl down to the hotel reception, still dressed in his
Cricket whites.
Yeah, which is
Nice.
quite good.
Do you think that
Walk
she
of
had
shame.
a fetish for cricket whites? Keep them on.
Yeah.
But the cricket stars are like big celebs there, aren't
the
they?
Insta are getting in touch with Luke also, whatever.
Or that like nylon shirt, the nuke.
Luke the Nuke t-shirt.
No, leave it on.
Yeah. You got
Can you
your-
hold those darts?
They're like the tight Under Armour tracksuits, tracksuit trousers.
Just slightly smelling of sweat.
Yeah.
Actually, another Luke Littler story I saw. This tabloid obsession is just getting out of hand. So there was
You're part of it.
Yeah.
we are feeding it, but not going quite this far. So there was a story in the Sun this week. The headline was "First Place," captioned, "Luke Littler's dad spotted picking up fish and chips on son's 18th birthday as darts world champion streams video games."
Oh my god.
Literally, man buys fish and chips.
It's like man buys fish and chips while son plays Xbox.
Was that front page? Sorry, no.
This was on the sports pages.
Okay. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know,
a
like what's
major
coming
story.
next is like Luke Littler tidies room while mum empties dishwasher. Yeah.
Yeah, but they do sort of like that he's just like you and me type theme,
Yeah.
I guess.
I guess
Well,
I-
enjoy it while we can, because once he starts getting embroiled in the seedy world of Insta hotties, then
and DMs, yeah.
Oh, do you think he'll sort of put up the walls, retreat to his compound?
or this sort of mundane day-to-day life will be a thing of the past.
Oh, yeah, and
he'll
he'll be
Yeah.
Could you see him going off the rails? I really can't.
But I think
Could you
he'd
imagine, I'd
either
love it
go-
if he ended up sort of like Jesse Lingard, Marcus Rashford,
Yeah.
that style. Like,
I think either he'll go like super fit and he'll become sort of like a new age darts player, or he'll go down a different route.
I can't see him down the sort of like drug problem route.
Well,
He's
I
just
mean,
so
darts,
grounded.
Darts and snooker are like I suppose darts is like one of the only sports left where like drinking culture is still really celebrated as part of, I suppose, football as well, but like darts is, they're all big boys usually, aren't they?
Oh, I don't think he's releasing a fucking fitness video anytime. Do people even do that anymore? It's quite 80s. But I don't think he'll have like a drug sex addiction. It'd be a real shame if he
would.
yeah, he seems, I don't know, he just seems like he's got his head screwed on.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, I'd like it a bit less screwed on.
Yeah.
Just get involved, mate.
You want a bit of dirt,
Just
don't you?
enjoy yourself. Turn off the
Often
console.
it's the pressure from the tabloids which sends people down.
We're not a
the dark
tabloid,
path,
It's weird to think that it's only been a year since Jim Ratcliffe took over at Man United. It feels like a decade of just negativity and anger. It's quite hard actually to recall. Like about a year ago, he'd just taken over, and there was sort of cautious optimism in the air among the fans and the ex-players. But now the hatred is oozing from every pore. So on Sunday night, United beat Fulham on Sunday night. It wasn't a particularly good game, but they did win. That didn't stop the United fans chanting, "Just like the Glazers, Jim is a cunt." Which, like, I knew they were a bit fucked off. I hadn't realised we got to that point.
There's a video online of Jim leaving the stadium, and he thinks that the fans are there to take a photo, so he opens the window just slightly and he goes, "Go on then, take your photo," and they're like, "Fuck off!" And he just slowly does the window back up and he's like, "Drive." It's amazing how toxic it's gone so quick again.
I'd sort of thought he still had quite a lot of like credit in the bank because everyone knows the club needs like.
Do you think, I'm actually surprised it didn't reach this point already, considering the amount of stories that we have done about.
But they're not angry about the club historian getting sacked, are they? It's the ticket price
It's
thing.
a ticket price, which is cheeky.
Yeah. But I feel like there was a lot of sort of, the culture of the club is being eroded.
Yeah. And actually, I was looking back last year, they weren't quite as optimistic as I thought. They were very like, maybe it'll be good. Anyway, it's not just Jim who's catching lots of hatred. So Ruben Amorim delivered another delightful post-match comment. He really knows how to get his players fired up. So he was asked why Marcus Rashford wasn't in the matchday squad, and Amorim told the press that he'd rather pick his 63-year-old goalkeeping coach. He said, "I would put George Vital before a player who doesn't give the maximum every day."
Surely he's done now.
Yeah, I thought they'd made up a bit because Rashford's sort of backed down and been like, "Oh, I'm ready to commit." But I think Ruben's hoping that.
I read that they were not on speaking terms now.
Really?
Like they don't speak at training.
I thought Rashford was kind of trying to do the olive branch. I think Ruben's hoping there's going to be a deadline day loan move to Adana Demirspor or whatever.
I could see him in the Italian league, Scudetto.
That'd be good. Dortmund as well could be.
I think he should go.
He's such a talented player. He's not a number 9, but he's so talented. I would like to see him at a top level club.
Yeah. Anyway, all a bit depressing considering they just won a match against their mid-table rivals. And the
battle was for 12th
for
place.
12th. And the bad vibes don't stop there. So I read a story this week about Dave Brailsford. He's one of Ratcliffe's key lieutenants. He's the Ineos sporting director. And Brailsford also, Sir Dave Brailsford, I should say, he was the guru behind the mega successful British cycling team. He's got a bit of a like mixed reputation there. He obviously delivered a lot of success, but he was accused of running a regime based on lies, bullying and harassment. And apparently his sort of party trick was to lock the cyclists on the team bus for hours while he bollocked them. Hours.
Nice.
Pretty miserable. He's gone for a slightly different vibe at Man United. It's a bit more like passive aggressive and sort of quietly menacing. So apparently no one knows what he's meant to be doing there, but he'll just like wander into a room where there's a meeting taking place, stick his nose in, and then he'll just say like, "I don't need to be here. I live in Monaco. I'm just here for you guys."
And they're like, "Fuck off."
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Wasn't he the one who was living in a caravan at Nice's training ground? Because Ratcliffe also owns Nice, and he got him.
Got
him.
Well,
there
that
to,
was
like,
his
sort of, like,
accommodation.
he was
hermit
about-
genius. I was like, "I live in Monaco. Do you?" The caravan is parked near the Monaco border. Anyway, Dave Brailsford's menacing presence isn't the only problem with the training ground. So you know how a lot of Premier League teams now have American owners, and so they've got these sister clubs where their owner will also own like an NFL franchise. So like Arsenal and Liverpool as well. These guys have like NFL or Major League Baseball teams as well. And it's quite common that when these clubs do a US tour, they'll like go and train at that team's ground or like maybe even play a fixture there. But weirdly, there's one exception, which is Man United. So the Glazers are part owners of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a very successful NFL franchise. But United never go there. And everyone always sort of wondered why. ESPN's Mark Ogden revealed the real reason this week. He said, I was told it's quite simply because the owners didn't want the United squad to see how good the Tampa Bay facilities are. Then he said, if the players had gone to Tampa Bay Buccaneers training ground and realised what they had and what United don't have, there might have been a mutiny at Man United. How fucking bad is this training ground?
Yeah.
Training ground and the ground. Didn't you say when there was a leak at Old Trafford, it was like the third highest waterfall in Europe?
They've also got a big rat problem now, haven't they?
Jesus, it can't get
I love the
worse.
idea of them getting off the plane and Bruno Fernandes is like looking at the, is that a cryotherapy room? No, that's just where they keep the bins. Yeah.
Do you want to go to Disney World instead? But I always, everyone always says Carrington is an absolute shithole. Jim Ratcliffe often moans about it. I was like, how bad can it be? Apparently Ronaldo, when he rejoined in 2021, refused to get in the swimming pool until they sorted it out.
Oh, he's a bit precious, isn't he?
Well, apparently there were like
Fucking
loose
hell.
tiles, and I imagine like Harry Maguire's getting in with a Veruca sock on. There's like a couple of plasters floating in the filter. Those Veruca socks are not appealing.
Mingo.
Yeah, I guess it is in an absolute state. And I know Man United fans have grown tired of our constant schadenfreude about their club, but sorry, it's just really funny.
I agree.
Actually, that might be bad, but I was reading this week about Man United's chairman from the 60s and 70s, a guy called Louis Edwards, who, he owned them for quite a while. He had a very flashy reputation. They called him Champagne Louis. And he was this like millionaire butcher who'd made his fortune by selling condemned meat to schools in Manchester.
So what was condemned to be like? How bad is it?
It was otherwise unsellable. So he'd got the contract to supply school dinner meat basically to like schools in the Manchester area, and basically sold them the absolute cheapest shite that was
Going off.
like going in the bin. And yeah, made his fortune like that and ended up getting hold of Man United. He had some sort of like dodgy share scheme that helped him to get control of the club. And he then passed it on to Martin Edwards, who's not
Honorary life chairman of Man United.
life chairman of Man United, still somehow, despite the fact that in the 90s he was caught on multiple occasions peeping under the cubicles in the ladies' toilets.
Yeah.
Little perv.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
peeper.
Nice.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of meat controversy at Old Trafford. Didn't they get done for those chicken wings?
Yeah, which were raw.
The
And
FSA
it was
rating of 1.
It was a health and safety conference where they served them.
FSA of 1 also means you need to shut down. So
Yeah, it's
Do
like
you
urgent
think you
improvement needed.
could try and swing that one? Well, because they serve the meat, this raw meat up at a health and safety conference. Then people point out, it's like, "Hey, you got me.
Yeah.
It was a test. You passed."
It's like a fire drill. Yeah, we'll go and cook them. Is that the game Louis Edwards was playing? So what is he basically? You're getting condemned meat because it's fucking cheap. And then
I guess it was like all the
Offcuts,
offcuts probably
yeah.
that
sort of
was
Sweeney Todd meat pies. Kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. What charming history. Actually, speaking of unsavoury crimes, did you see there's this kid who, he's a Man United fan, he's not cutting his hair or shaving until United win 5 games in a row, which is quite a big ask. He's up to 113 days now, and he looks like Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire, he
Jesus.
looks like the Yorkshire Ripper.
he looks like a microphone if you tap him at the top. It'll go boom, 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 boom.
He looks a lot like Peter Sutcliffe.
How is he doing on Instagram?
Yeah, I think he's picking up a lot of followers, actually. The pic of him looking like Sutcliffe's got 7,000 likes.
It's amazing.
We'll give him a shout out at the United Strand.
Good luck, mate.
That's going to be getting pretty long.
5 wins in a row as well. That's quite a
Well,
nice
so
thing.
I don't think they'll do that between now and the end of the season. So that afro's going right out.
At least at that point, he'll look more like Fellaini, rather than a man who murdered several women in Yorkshire.
Or like a 70s disco act.
Yeah. To be fair, Peter Sutcliffe doesn't look dissimilar to a 70s disco act. With that, he looks a bit like Noel Edmonds, actually, doesn't he?
He's not. I mean, he's a bad bloke,
He's
but he's not a bad looking bloke.
You got a bit of a soft spot. Yeah, he's not a bad looking man.
Yeah, he's all right.
What, Peter Sutcliffe? Or
Or this 16-year-old boy. Get the calendar up.
Which one?
Anyway, thanks a lot to Leon who sent that in. I actually really enjoyed his message. He said, "Did you see the kid who has turned into Peter Sutcliffe because of Man United?"
Actually, I do remember this. I actually looked on his Instagram page last night, and he's doing some guitar work around Man United songs. So he's playing like really sad Man United songs.
Are they all sad?
Like Glory, Glory, Man United on an acoustic
On a
guitar.
minor key.
like off key?
Yeah, it's like really, really sad. Hopefully it jazzes up a bit.
Yeah,
if
when
it
the hair
to 5.
gets the disco era,
Yeah.
and then he shaves it. Would you rather have his look, looking like a known serial killer, or the Joel Glazer nonce ponytail? We've talked about, I don't think you were on, but we talked about Joel Glazer he's bald apart from at the back. He's got a little rat tail, like greasy ponytail thing.
He reminds me so much of the butler from Scary Movie.
Oh my God, that is who he looks like.
Do you know what I mean? He's like,
take my hand, the strong
hand.
Oh my God. I was trying to think, who is he in like an American comedy film?
It's the butler from the Scary Movie.
He's like licking the turkey.
Yeah.
At the penises and the jangies. Don't know what
think
this
it's
hole
the-
is, but I
yeah.
lick it anyway.
It's the sort of grey complexion he's got as well.
He's looks about as noncy as you can look.
Yeah, proper.
Like that haircut. Why would you do that?
And the glasses and
I think I'd rather look like
Peter.
Sutters
Yeah.
than noncy
Yeah,
Joel.
Sutcliffe all day.
Yeah. It was a terrible look. Anyway, if you do want to sculpt your hair to resemble a nonce or a famous serial killer, then may I recommend Manscaped? Sorry, you wondering where I was going there? It's a Manscaped ad. I need to shoehorn it in. But you know, if you want to sort of get the trim, does a lot of serial killers have beards? You could do a Harold Shipman.
Yeah, they were quite crazed. I'm thinking like Charles Manson's quite.
Yeah, he's sort of beardy. People,
yeah.
when my hair and beard are a certain length, people tell me I look a bit Charles Manson.
Yeah, if it's too like,
Thanks very much.
if it's too precise, though, it can be a bit sterile.
Yeah, because Harold Shipman, to be fair, does not look like he's been anywhere near a Manscaped.
Yeah.
Like, his beard's quite sort of rough and God knows what state his pubes are in. I dread to think. Bad would be my guess. Whereas Sutter's,
I reckon he's
quite clean
in his
lines.
heyday.
He's keeping everything in line. There's good symmetry
It's a bit
there.
like Craig David-y.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The goatee. It's like quite clean lines.
Hopefully, Craig wasn't inspired by Sutters.
That is where the similarities end. And actually, this kid,
Could do with a
I like
bit
that
of
we
a
Yeah,
now
he
given
needs a bit of
Peter
a-
Sutcliffe a sort of endearing nickname.
Sutters.
Sounds
Like, it's sort of
he's a
like
mate.
like a commentator on like cricket. Yeah, sorry. Pete, the Ripper, would you
Yeah,
prefer I call
sorry.
him? Anyway, maybe a Manscaped could allow you to achieve one of those looks. Maybe some of the Americans ones have tashes as well, I think.
serial killers.
Yeah, I'm no expert.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
quite.
I have to ask Roche. She is a serial killer expert.
Yeah, goatees are quite serial killer.
Yeah. I actually had a look online to see if my man, I'm not going to refer to him as that, but the guy I wrote to, James, well, I'm actually not going to say his full name, he does not have one.
Your pen pal.
Yeah, he was a pen pal briefly, a
Yeah.
couple of letters, just out of interest.
Was it a couple?
Anyway, if you do want to look like a well-groomed serial killer,
When you were saying check online, were you checking the nudes that he's sent you from jail to check if he manscaped or not?
yeah, he was beautifully manscaped.
Did you send him
He's
one?
doing it by hand with a bit of glass or something. A sharpened toothbrush. While he smokes on some spice. Anyway, the Manscaped tool I'm going to choose to promote this week is the Handyman, which is a sleek and compact face grooming essential, which does actually sound a bit like a famous American killer, the Handyman, like a Netflix series title. Say his name 3 times in the mirror.
And he'll come and shave your balls.
It's the handyman. Okay.
Sorry.
Yet to have a complaint from Manscaped, so I'm just going to keep making these adverts as sort of awful as possible. The Handyman is a sleek and compact face grooming essential that guarantees your face is on track for heartthrob status all year long. Yeah, you'd be one of those prison heartthrobs. What's even better is the Handyman comes equipped with skin-safe technology designed to help reduce nicks and cuts, which actually Peter Sutcliffe won't like that.
No, he wants the cuts.
After all, who wants a sharp reminder of their grooming session on a romantic evening out? You can use the code UPSHOT for 20% off plus free international shipping at manscaped.com. That's UPSHOT at manscaped.com.
Was that a Peter Sutcliffe line as well?
Which?
Who wants a sharp reminder after a romantic evening out?
That's why I said sharp reminder. Any nicks and cuts? JP, we actually gifted you a Manscaped, didn't we?
Yeah,
Christmas.
This isn't for the ad, but I absolutely love mine. I use
Is it a
all the
face
time.
or a balls?
It's for my nuts, yeah. Yeah, I love it. It's really good.
Manscaped gave us a couple and we gave one to you.
Yeah. I think it's brilliant. Also, you just general razors are not built for downstairs, whereas
What,
this
wet shave razors?
no, like as in
Face ones,
face
yeah,
ones,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, this just doesn't get any nicks or cuts like Peter Sutcliffe.
Yeah. No, you got plenty of them. Sort of the
Are
problem.
you angling for a bonus from Manscaped?
I'd love a bonus
Yeah.
from Manscaped. Please.
I can't get one from here, so I might as well try and get one from
Been
Manscaped.
talking about them for fucking minutes now. We should get extra for that. Code UPSHOT at manscaped.com. Yeah, I liked it. It was good. I find it hard to bother to use it very often,
Right.
which I guess is a way of saying I've let myself go. I don't think you can really blame Manscaped for that.
When I do mine, I can come around and do yours.
Yeah, you're perfect. just grooming together. While we're talking Yorkshire Ripper, the Yorkshire Rimmer, I've got an update on. Do you remember him? If you're not familiar with the Yorkshire Rimmer, we did a pod at the end of 2023 looking back on the year, and I think he was the episode title and sort of the star. He is rugby league star Joe Westerman. He basically got caught one night down an alleyway outside Greg's in Pontefract, where he was with a teammate, another player's wife, and he was on his knees rimming. Anyway, the big news is that the Rimmer has got engaged. His wife at the time obviously chucked him.
Right.
But he's got a new fiance who did like a big post about it. It's all really nice.
Was
Aw.
it the Remy?
I don't know if it's the Remy. It'd be quite sweet. It's sort of happily ever after, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. It could have been the Remy. I don't know. That's a good question. I did actually. So we had an email from.
If it is, then the best man speech is going to be iconic.
Well, where'd you start?
Yeah.
Thanks to Greg's for doing the canapes. If they were funny, they would have like Greg's
Yeah.
sausage rolls. I think
Yeah.
that's quite bold. But we did have an email from a fan who I'm not going to name, who had a surprisingly large amount of knowledge about this woman. But he said that his new fiance is an estate agent, and her office is just next to a branch of Greg's.
There's something quite beautiful about that.
It's kind of fairy tale stuff, isn't it?
The same branch of Greg's, or
No, I think it's a different town.
Well, they're all pretty much the fucking same, aren't they?
Yeah, but it would. Yeah, does it have the alleyway?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
He needs an alleyway, doesn't he? To make it worthwhile.
Somehow the most heinous thing anyone said on the podcast. Somehow. Anyway, that's the update on the Rimmer.
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll leave him there.
Nice.
Yep. Back to football.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be
that thing.
glad to hear.
Whoa.
And Kyle Walker sealed his move to AC Milan last week, which, I feel like that's quite a nice move for him. Just swapping the Curry Mile and 152 days of rain a year for life in Europe's fashion capital.
Oof. Bougie.
It does rain a lot there as well, I learned.
Does it?
About 140 days.
Surely not as
I
much. as-
googled. 140,
140
yeah.
days. Oh, really?
one of Europe's
Jeez,
rainiest
maybe
cities.
Yeah, I take it back.
Yeah,
All right.
sorry. Carry on.
Anyway, okay, it's not all going to be sipping Campari spritzes with Versace models in under the umbrella for Kyle. So while fans and TV crews were waiting for Kyle to land at Milan Airport, Silvio Berlusconi Airport, as it's appropriately known, they were greeted by the sight of what I can only describe as a gigantic rodent waddling across the exit to the airport. Huge.
That's
It's
not
the
a
way-
rat. That's like a.
God, it's like a.
Oh my
Look.
god.
I mean, that's
That's
a
like,
rat the size of a cat. It's got quite a round face.
You sure it's not like a fat otter?
It is a nutria, which is a herbivorous semi-aquatic rodent that's native to South America, but they're apparently rife in Milan.
Really?
nowadays.
Could you get that? Like, you know how you
Invasive
can get
species.
a rat in your house? Could that fucking
Can you imagine
come under
waking
your bed?
that?
I mean,
I'll tell you what, though, it
You'd have
moves a
to-
lot slower than a rat.
Yeah.
That's almost worse, though. I feel like.
God. That
No, I
is-
think the
if you-
fear with
imagine if
rats
you
is
came-
they're going to run up on my face or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Whereas
It
this
is-
guy's a bit of a
it's
that
plonker.
fucker ain't moving anywhere.
He's
fast,
actually
is it?
reasonably cute, minus the tail.
I mean, you
basically-
wouldn't want. I don't think you'd want to pet it.
It's like a big guinea pig with a tail.
Have you seen its teeth?
Oh no!
I bet they're like
So it's got like proper
I'll look it up.
sort of
proper
big
gnaws.
buck teeth.
Oh
Those
yeah.
ones.
Oh, so do they bite
So
you?
it does look quite
I'm getting more of an otter
beaver-like,
vibe here.
That's
guys.
actually quite sweet.
Yeah.
The one in the airport is a bit more slimy, much like the
Yeah.
Yeah,
person the
it's in
airport's
Milan,
named
isn't
after. Sorry, they call the airport Silvio Berlusconi Airport.
Isn't it?
What?
You can
That's
see Kyle
amazing.
Walker's when that pops up in the departure line, and Kyle Walker's like licking his lips.
Yeah, I'll have a one-way ticket, please. That must be the biggest shagger any airport is named after. Beat that.
ooh.
George Best Airport.
George Best,
John
yeah,
Lennon.
in Dublin.
Was John Lennon,
John Lennon
shagger?
shagger?
A bit.
More of like
I'm trying to think.
icon.
Don't take his name in vain. Yeah, maybe
JFK.
JFK.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
true.
That's actually probably top.
Yeah.
True.
Sylvia could. I reckon Sylvia.
JFK was like a joke how much he was
Yeah.
shagging.
Yeah.
It
I
was
mean,
like
Marilyn
full-on
Monroe,
addiction.
wasn't he?
Yeah,
True.
but like constant stream of women.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, those are the big three shagger airports. Let us know if there are any others. I feel like there should be one in like Russia or Brazil or somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surely.
Petition to rename Heathrow.
After
Do you
who?
know if Boris Johnson got his Boris Island
Luke
airport?
Littler.
Luke Littler. Jermaine Pennant International. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. Anyway, so if Kyle does make it past these supersized rodents, then there's an even more fearsome adversary waiting for him inside Milan's training ground. Their manager Sergio Conceição. So you might recall Sergio, he was managing Porto before this, and a couple of years ago he had this touchline scrap with Mikel Arteta, and came out afterwards and he said that Mikel had insulted my family, which, you know, is quite a nasty accusation. And Sergio is no saint himself. So a couple of weeks later, he went to watch Porto's under-10 side in a little youth tournament, and he completely lost the plot at a refereeing decision, ended up assaulting the referee, and he's accused also of insulting the mayor of the local town. So yeah, pretty hot-headed guy. And actually, after Milan's game at the weekend, which Kyle was watching from the stands, Sergio lost it again and had to be dragged away from one of his players.
Jesus.
At San Siro, and there's some words here between Sergio Conceição and it looks like Davide Calabria.
Jesus.
It was apparently he was trying to get to Calabria, who'd been subbed off and had like kicked a water bottle apparently.
Right.
But Milan then turned it around. They scored twice in stoppage time, 1-3-2.
So you think that's why I took you
think
off.
you'd be pretty happy,
Right,
but
yeah.
Anyway,
Always such hotheads. I saw his interview this morning, and he'd already like sort of morphed into this Italian sleek sort of
Kyle?
dress code. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, like black suit, black t-shirt.
Love it.
You know, talking a bit slower. You know, he was a bit more silky.
I love
Thinking
that.
he was, I feel
I
like.
think it's
do
a
you think
great
they
move.
are they going to lap it up there? Do you reckon?
What, the Signorinas?
Yeah.
Is the wife coming? Are they?
Haven't they got back together? The wife
Seems very on off.
is back together.
I tried to check and it was like Annie Kilner seen without engagement ring, but I just can't stick
Yeah,
to that
there
level
is.
of story.
Yeah. We stick to Luke Littler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We keep it quite serious on this pod.
Yeah.
Paper of record. Yeah, I'd like it for him. I think it's a good move. And to be honest, it is a society where cheating is the norm.
Yeah.
So, you know, he'll fit right in.
Crazed.
I thought it was going to be Saudi, but good on him.
I still think he could have a couple of good seasons at Milan and then still do Saudi because he's in such good nick.
He's taken, so Italian teams can only have one non-EU player on loan, so now Rashford can't go there. There was a bit of a whisper about him going there.
Oh yeah.
There's plenty of other. I love all these English players
Yeah.
in Serie A.
Yeah, it's cool.
Speaking of surprise moves, Wayne Rooney. Do you see he's got a slightly strange new gig. He's doing half-term coaching camps for children in Dubai. It's called Train with Wayne, which is a great name.
Surely he's got enough dough in the bank not to have to do this.
Yeah, so I don't know if he's like sort of giving something back. Because didn't you say you looked at how much it costs to do it?
10 grand a week, X flights.
So you get, so that's a hotel stay
Hotel stay
and one child enrolled with Wayne Rooney.
and one child with Wayne for the week.
They get the whole week with it.
Yeah.
Surely most of the cost of that is a hotel. Like, I don't know how much it costs to stay in these hotels.
It can't be more than 4 or 5 grand a week.
Right, so you're paying 5 grand for Wayne Rooney to teach your son to have a better first touch if you're super rich.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in 2 weeks' time, it's half term, and Wayne will be dragging his bag of balls down Jumeirah Beach. I imagine the customers are sort of like, the children of Russian lithium magnates and like hedge fund managers and stuff. Do you know what I mean? They're probably like gifting him. I imagine sort of people who give him a gift at the end of the week.
Yeah, like a Rolex or something.
Yeah, like a really vulgar diamond encrusted watch, or like a stock tip if you're an American hedge fund manager.
Does Wayne know what a stock tip is?
Anyway, it all sounds like a bit of a step down from the glamour of Plymouth Argyle, but these cushy teaching gigs can open some serious doors. So Rooney revealed recently that when he was managing DC United in America, he gave a few private lessons to Baron Trump, the son of President Donald Trump. Because Baron he's pretty handy with the football, actually. I've got a clip we'll watch in a minute. He's 6'7".
I think he was actually on the books at DC United.
Oh, really?
At the time.
Apparently they did
Possibly because his dad said he should be.
This is like how Harvey Neville used to play for Inter Milan. He's Phil Neville's son.
I'm getting like
And Romeo Beckham.
Peter Crouch vibe.
Yeah,
I'm not
apparently it
seeing
was
that.
good, sort of Crouch-esque, good touch for a big man, sort of hold it up. I'll show a clip in a minute. He's decent, but yeah, he was possibly helped by having private tuition from Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
But apparently after one session, Baron just said to him like, "Hey, do you wanna see my dad?" And Rooney was just like, "Yeah, go on." So the whole Rooney family went and hung out with the Trump family in the Oval Office in the White House.
What?
Apparently they ate chicken nuggets. which
Of
is
course.
Very Trump.
Yeah.
Let's get some McDonald's.
Quite rate that though. He loves McDonald's, doesn't he?
Yeah, loves a burger and Coke.
Yeah. And he's got a button in the White House now. On his first day, installed it, a red button
For when he wants
for Diet Coke. His butler brings one.
Do they really want to make that a red button in the Oval Office?
I don't know, one of the red buttons. This red button is very
I'm
powerful.
thirsty. And it's just like just Moscow is
Yeah,
just
there goes St. Petersburg. Fuck it. They had it coming. Someone was going to do it sooner or later. And I will have a Diet Coke now. Anyway, so apparently it was like quite awkward, but quite sort of funny. And at one point, Trump couldn't resist making a pervy comment about Coleen. So apparently he turned to Baron and goes, "See, I told you, all the soccer players get the good-looking girls."
Dirty little fucker.
Yeah. Coleen said, "I told my mum," and she just goes, "Dirty bastard." I actually read that. I was like, that's quite sort of nice that he was sort of complimenting Coleen. But if that was anyone else other than Donald Trump,
You would be like,
if that was me,
yeah, you'd be like,
yeah.
I said it to your girlfriend, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it does. For a Donald Trump comment about
It's quite
women, it
nice.
seems quite like complimentary and wholesome.
yeah.
Yeah, it's better than grab her by the pussy. Yeah. I've actually got a clip of Baron in action.
Very Peter Crouch.
I would argue better touch.
What?
Better than Peter Crouch.
I mean,
Look
it
at that, hang
doesn't
on.
look.
He's
I'm sorry.
He's just holding it up and laying it off. It's beautiful.
I
Let's have a
mean,
look.
he's not that
Sorry.
great.
Yeah, not better.
huge.
Not better
He's
than
not
Peter
better.
Crouch.
I mean, that's very harsh on
Taller?
Peter.
He's so much taller than all
no
the other
way.
kids.
He looks fucking
Oh,
nuts.
that was decent.
He's class. Admittedly, he looks like he's playing against some 13-year-olds.
Yeah, at that age, being that much bigger is a massive.
Also, if he was that good, he'd be playing basketball.
How tall is Trump?
About 6'3", I think.
Is he 6'7"? He's huge.
Yeah, but his mum is Melania and she's Slovenian.
Right.
They're
And
tall.
that means...
She's pretty tall. Eastern Europeans are tall.
Right.
You know how I like to talk racial classifications. American sports fans, they always get a lot of stick from football fans for being a bit lame, particularly those chants. I've picked out a couple of my favourites. So there's this classic.
Fight and win! Come on, Seattle!
And then also this is my absolute favourite for just...
Isn't it the national team's like anthem now? That chant?
Is it?
Yeah, like the US football team, they sing that.
Oh God! So the World Cup's going to be that.
It's fucking lame. But that's only because we're used
Also,
to
hate to break it
British.
to them. It ain't gonna happen.
What win?
I believe them.
Yeah. It's just quite tedious as well how it builds up. Anyway, there is one thing that the American fans do better, and that is the pre-match piss up, particularly tailgating. So if you're not familiar with tailgating, it's a pre-match tradition in America where a bunch of rednecks gather in a stadium car park and they barbecue meat, turn their pickup trucks into makeshift jacuzzis, and guzzle down revolting riot juice in red plastic cups. I've got quite a good picture of it here, JP, that we'll link
Look
to.
at the state of that water.
So these guys, they've turned their pickup truck into a jacuzzi. They put a tarpaulin in it, filled it with like muddy water. Is that what brackish
no,
water
I think it was
is?
clean when they got in there, but they just...
The water is fucking filthy. And then they've attached a barbecue grill to the back. It's pretty cool.
I like that the guy is wearing one of those aprons which is a tuxedo.
yeah.
This is, by the way, you know, we're
Just to
saying
add a bit of class
in
to
America
it.
we're going to have a hot tub. It's going to be this.
Yeah.
So like really muddy, choleric water. I think it's quite cool. Anyway, tailgating's been catching on a bit in the UK, although not sure they're quite getting it right. A couple of years ago at Royal Ascot, there were these two blokes having a picnic in the car park, dressed up in their waistcoats and shirts.
God.
And they appear to have brought a candelabra. See on the table. And then actually on the table next to them, sitting behind his Range Rover, is a bloke with a Fortnum & Mason hamper, and he's got a 3-tier cake stand for his like fairy cakes.
The quintessential British summer.
Yeah, that really is like, that's probably what Americans think Britain is like in general. isn't
Yeah,
it?
at Ascot.
Yeah. What is a candelabra? What's the point? It's just sort of
Just
It's-
atmosphere.
yeah, it's
Vibe.
daytime. Like, they can't.
Atmosphere.
Yeah.
Or do you think they have some of the little electric?
No, I reckon they go proper candles. They strike me as the type to be carrying some sort of matches and candles.
Yeah.
We called it quail-gating at the time. quite pleased with
Love
that. Yeah. Anyway, meanwhile, back on the other side of the Atlantic, it was the NFL playoffs this weekend, and the Philadelphia Eagles had a fan rocking around with a sort of mobile tailgating device. It was a hog roast in a shopping trolley, complete with a fire on the lower tier. Yeah, let me show you. So this guy's just pushing a trolley around. There's a whole pig carcass.
Well, I
And
mean,
he's got a fire lit underneath it.
if you think about
It's
it,
fucking cool.
it's
Pretty
quite good
smart,
for like airing the fire.
Yeah.
What I would say is those coals do not look ready for the meat. Don't you need to wait till they're like all grey, or you're
Yeah,
just getting chemicals on your pig?
I mean, he looks like he's got a pretty big beer in his hand, mate. So I'm sure he's not that bothered about the
Yeah, man.
goals.
I saw there's another picture of him on the subway later dishing out like bits of hot roast to people, carving it. It's pretty fucking cool.
actually-
It's actually really smart.
You can see the pig's head in it.
Yeah, I bet it's a whole pig. That's how to do a
Jesus.
hog roast. I guess you just turn it occasionally.
Looks tasty.
Yeah. I think that is, I would like to see a bit more of that before, like pre-match football. It's just beers. People talk about like the food at Tottenham's really good. It's like some fucking loaded nachos and stuff. It's a bit shit.
Food at football is generally shit.
I'd like to see a bit more like DIY. I guess there's nowhere to congregate.
Yeah.
You get the train to a match with Fulham fans, you get oysters and champagne.
Yeah, literally, yeah. That's sort of the closest effort. Anyway, back to the Philly Eagles. They won the playoff, which means they reached the Super Bowl. Huge deal. The celebrations were actually fucking nuts. So one guy pulled out a gun and fired it into the air. I've got a clip of that as well.
Jesus!
Yeah. God, everyone does actually properly stop.
Fuck.
You can see it in the video really clearly.
This is the thing.
Why is that okay?
We'll gladly sit here on our sofa and call their fans lame, but I probably wouldn't say it to their face.
Yeah, he's got a fucking shooter. I was looking at gun laws. You get in Pennsylvania, where Philadelphia is, you just go and buy one. Don't need a license.
Really?
No background check. We could get one on our tour.
Amazing. I think we're good, thanks.
I'm going to get one for the live show. It gets hairy. Who's laughing now, boy?
Welcome to the upshot.
Yeah, walk out firing him. Show immediately gets shut down. I'm way too pussy for that. Yeah, pretty wild. It's interesting because you got that like lame chanting vibe, and then you got people doing that, and you got the hog roast.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these Brits who slags off America. I love America.
No, nor am I. And I think that the way they do sport is amazing. Like the stadiums and the match day, it's like entertainment over there. But I do think they're missing a bit of like
Grit.
Yeah.
Grit.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
But they do have guns.
Yeah, guns.
All right, on that bombshell, that's all we got time for, I think. Thanks a lot for listening. As always, share it with your friends. Follow JP on Insta, at JP Lockwood.
Cheers, guys.
And yeah, we'll see you on Tuesday. Got part 2 of Cantona.
Yeah.
Real exciting one.
It's a good one.
Thanks a lot for listening.
Thanks, guys.